It's after midnight, and it's time for conversations about love, family, friends, sex, and life. It's Love and Life with RIDDICK and Donavan West, only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family, and welcome to another episode of Love and Life. I am your host, RIDDICK, and as always, it is my pleasure and my privilege to spend some time with you, and you know, today is no different. You are listening to WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. How's 22 treating you? I hope you are all having a great start to the new year, and I hope you're avoiding these variants at every cost. I'm sending some love and light to all of our family members, and especially those whose light is a little dim these days. I'm also sending some love to our family members joining us on our socials. It's always so nice to have you join us, especially in the midnight hour. If you are new to the show, welcome. Love and Life is where we discuss anything and everything as it pertains to love and life, but we do it with an honest opinion and with no judgment because, we're human too. I tell everybody within earshot that I am an advocate for trying to do better because I know that I, too, am a work in progress. So today, we are continuing the conversation around coupledom. Our guests today, I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. Our guests today are a power couple. You heard me, whose story is still evolving. They met as teenagers and quickly became good friends. Today, they run an empire whose cupcakes have graced the tongue of everybody, including mine, including Mr. Steve Harvey himself. They are committed to mentoring and coaching aspiring business owners along their journeys as well. Family, please help me welcome Rob and Jen Morris of Cupcakeology. Hey, y'all.
Hi. What everybody doing?
I have to tell you something before we get into anything, any questions or anything. So the first time I went to your bakery, it was the first time. So I have adopted kids. I adopt everybody's kids in the neighborhood and what have you. So I took the youngest and I said, listen, I have to go grab some cupcakes as a gift. So I'd gone and he said, oh, can I have a slice of pie? It was a little tiny little, sure, you can get whatever you want. And I had gotten, it was a salted caramel cupcake. Let me tell you, that's an understatement. I got in the car and I said, okay, let me just taste this because I had not tasted that flavor before. And he said, can I taste it? Because I said, oh my God. He said, can I taste it? Well, he ate my cup. He said, Mom, should I go get us another us? I said, you ate my cupcake. Can you go get me another one? But in any event, welcome. And thank you for obliging and accommodating, being our guests today.
Thanks for having us.
It is our pleasure.
So I want to start. Okay, I read a little about your story, but if you wouldn't mind, would you walk us through your journey, like from the day you met until today?
Whoa, can we remember back that far?
That's so long.
You want to start? You want to start?
I like to pick off from where you can.
Right.
If I forgot something, I don't want to get in trouble.
It's going to be a problem. So we were, like you said, teenagers. My very first job, my grandmother took me before I turned 16 to go job hunting because she said, listen, girl, it's time. So I think one of my first applications I put in was the Old Country Buffet in Springfield, way back on Baltimore Pike. And so I got the job before I was able to work. I had to wait a few months, and I finally started. And he was already working there as a, what were you at that time?
Probably like a server or something like that.
Yeah.
Working my way up the ranks.
Working his way up. And so the hostess and a cashier. And from the very beginning, we just clicked, Carol. I mean, he is so funny. Okay. And I love to laugh. I just love laughing, food, all things life, like joyful, gleeful. I just love to laugh. And so on our breaks, we would just sit down and, we would talk and he would just make me laugh. And that was just so freeing to me, and then we just had an instant bond, but just as friends, because, I was 16, he was 18, and he was always mature beyond his years, he came out grown.
That's another
I love it. He had an old soul.
Old soul. So, so I was, young, 16, just started to date and play around, and he's looking for, someone to settle down with, I'm just like, nah, it's not me. So we just remained friends. And then so we parted ways. Once I left, I went on and did other business ventures. He stayed, and he actually moved up in the ranks in the corporate food world. And so I'll let him tell you about that, his experience in that. But I went off and did other things, graduated high school, didn't really want to go to college, didn't know what I wanted to do. But I always had a passion in baking, though. But things back then wasn't like how it was today. Like, today, us as parents, we like really nurture our children and things like that. Like back then, it was like, okay, you got to go to college. And if you don't go to college, well, what are you going to do? Right?
That's the truth.
So, and so I kind of suppressed that and forgot about that love, because when I was 9 years old, I always had the entrepreneurial spirit. And when I was 9, there was a pound cake recipe that my mom had in the drawer for years. It was from my daycare babysitter. She gave my mom a long time ago. And my mom made it one time and just forgot about it. So me wanting something sweet, because I just had to have something sweet every day of my life, I went and got that pound cake recipe, and I just started, baking it. And
did you say at 9?
9.
Okay. Okay. I was eating peanut butter and jelly.
That's what they told me at 9. And then so, I just always wanted to have something sweet and create something in the kitchen. And so it came a time where I got a little older, and my friends, they had what do you call it?
Easy bake ovens?
No, but
oh, I had that.
We did have a couple easy bake ovens, but they're cheap. I burnt them things out, girl. I mean, easy bake ovens.
Your little light bulb.
Me and my sisters, we said, listen, you gotta go.
You couldn't tell me I wasn't baking though with my easy bake oven.
But my father didn't allowance. That's the word I was trying to think of. And he did not believe in giving us allowance, just to do things around the house that we should be doing, because we lived there. That was his motto back then. And so my other friends did. So I always had the entrepreneurial spirit because I needed to get candy money too. Right? So I went and I started baking and just creating different things from that 1 pound cake recipe. And so I would bake, and I would make the cupcakes, and I would make the little mini loaves and cake slices, and I would make some lemonade, and I would make some iced tea, and I would get my sister's toys, anything I could take out of the house to sell, I would sell it on the corner in Yaden, right on the block, and get my candy money, right?
You put me to shame. All I had was pretzels and lemonade. Water ice. I had pretzels and water ice. That's all I had.
I mean, she said go back to the beginning, right?
Right. No, I love it. I love it.
But with all that being said, I took you back there because I forgot about all of that, because what was implanted in my head come high school and senior years was go to school, sit down and figure out what you're going to do. And if you don't, and I'm saying, I don't want to go. I remember looking through those books, and it was like accounting, this, that. I don't want to do any of that. It's boring, right?
I know.
I'm just like, I can't, it's not for me. But what is for you? I don't know. But I just knew that I wanted to make some money. And so that's what I did. I just did other things and other ventures. And so we had I worked at Acme, and we had a mutual friend that worked at Acme.
Mm-hmm.
And so she said, hey, Robbie, he says, what did he say? What did you say? Give me your phone number or something like that. Said, I don't know.
Jennifer?
Yeah.
Said, yeah, that's my best friend. I said, really? I think she thought I was trying to speak to her, but I was like, no, I would like to speak to Jennifer. Kind of broke her heart a little bit.
Right. That's a shame. Well, actually, it's not a shame because look at where you are now.
That's right.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, I ended up calling him, and we were friends still. Like he's still over the phone, just made me laugh. And so he had an apartment at that time, and I just came from a relationship, so I didn't really want to jump into another relationship. And we laugh about that because
you were still running.
Yeah. Like I wasn't on that vibe then, Carol. You make me laugh, so I like your company.
Right.
You're good company.
Right.
So, I would go to his apartment, and we would just eat tacos and get some Smirnoff. So what do you call them? And just watch comedies and just crack up. And I would hate to go home, but we were just friends. So I went home. And it lasted for a month, a while.
Spent a lot of money on her.
It's an investment, a good investment.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's like kind of her side. That's she was always food.
Okay.
So that's that part of Cupcakeology where the soul comes from. My story was a little bit different. I always had to work. I left the house early. It was 4 of us, no dad in the house, mom in the house, couldn't provide, it was time to do what you had to do to survive. I got out and I hit it hard at the age of 15 and was working in construction and stuff like that. And I happened to come across a guy who introduced me to Old Country Buffet, and he was saying that they were hiring as actually dishwashers. So I started out as a dishwasher.
That's my first job.
Yeah, dishwasher. And I'm glad I didn't meet her as one because she probably wouldn't have spoke to me. But by the time she came in, I was a server. And we had mutual friends. And, I took any job that I had serious. I always wanted to be that person. And, as a young Black male, I always wondered why we were not in charge, and that would always stick in my head. I would always see a white face behind the desk, and we were always the ones working. So I decided that I was going to put a stop to that. And I actually became the kitchen manager, and I've learned so many different ways, corporate ways of dealing with all kinds of situations and how to, be bigger, how to think bigger, how to dream bigger. And I took their systems that they used and we incorporated all of that into Cupcakeology. Because when we first started, Jennifer was cracking 1, 2 eggs and buying small vanilla.
I was a home baker.
Right.
I was like, babe, not going to work. The young lady said she wants 56 cupcakes. And, it was rough in the beginning. We gave away a lot. We gave away a lot of cupcakes. It's hard starting as a young Black entrepreneur.
I'm sure.
It's just different. The way you grab people's attention has to be totally different. You got to think outside the box. We took and spent our tax money and bought a big old truck. I converted it. We couldn't afford to get it wrapped, nice and pretty. With
Right.
Couldn't afford to get that. So
we don't think about that.
No, we don't. We don't. We went on print and ordered the biggest stickers that they had available. Wait,
I love that. Let me tell you how I did not think of that. Okay, because I was thinking, I would just have a plain truck because, well, probably I would have thought of something, but I don't know that I would have thought of that. But I want to delve all into the beginning to today with regard to how you guys got started with the business. But I want to go back to you guys starting your relationship.
Oh yeah.
So you met, Jen was 16, you were 18.
Uh-huh.
How many years in between before you guys reconnected?
Wait, so we're like, so I think we because I was definitely out of high school.
You were out of high
Right.
school, but when we were in Old Country, we weren't really a couple. We just spoke,
Yeah.
high and
Right.
by. So I would definitely say probably about 2 years in between, or
no, because I was about 19. Because I went after I didn't, instead of going to college, I ended up going to a trade school, and that was about an 18-month program. And so we weren't dating then.
No.
So it was after that. So yeah, I would say it was about
a year and a half?
19 years. Yeah. So 17, about 3 years.
Nice.
About 3 years?
Yeah.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
about 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Because my 20th birthday, he's so cute, Kim. Let me tell you.
You two are so cute.
My 20th birthday now. You heard my story about me baking cupcakes from scratch.
Yes.
Did you hear me say anything about a box? No. Okay. But his heart was all in it. So my 20th birthday, he surprised me. Him and the mutual friend came to my mom's house with a beautiful looking strawberry cake for my 20th birthday, and he wanted to come and give me that cake because he knew I was all about the food and the sweets, right?
Aww.
But he said that the bakery came from my soul. It's from me, like the taste, the food. So it was a box cake. I don't like box cakes.
He tried.
And I thought that was like the most romantic gesture ever. I mean, women,
oh my goodness,
they want to be wine and they want to be dined and they want to do all the fancy. Just feed me, right? And
right.
Even though I didn't enjoy the cake, but the thought meant everything to me.
The gesture, right?
It was everything to me. So yeah, so that's kind of when we really started taking things a little bit more seriously. We ended up going on a couple day trips together to the beach and just hanging out. And I ended up going away to a family reunion down south with my family. And that's when it hit me. I miss this guy. I like this guy. And I can't wait to come home to this guy. And when I got back, my mom's boyfriend's truck was blocking in my car. I said, you got to move that thing because I got to go and see this man.
I got somewhere to be.
He is waiting on me. And after that, girl, that was it. I said, let's just move this thing further. And that was it.
I love that you listen. You said excuse me, like a gnat at a cookout.
They gotta go.
I have somewhere to be. Okay.
I ain't unpacking anything.
Listen,
all over the floor, but I got to go and see this man.
That's when you know it's real. That's when you know.
She ain't tell me all that.
So I have a question about. So okay, I love that. I want to fast forward to today. I'm jumping all over because that's how the brain goes. So do you guys still have date nights?
It's rough.
That's something that we
work it
that's
in.
something that we work it on. Now they may not be date nights, but they are date mornings.
Not a breakfast.
He just came home yesterday and said, "Babe, let's just go to breakfast." It's impromptu things like that, which I really appreciate because with life and, homeschooling our children and him working and we got the business and we're doing all the things, it's hard for me kind of to keep him abreast on what's going on in the household, like personally. He knows all about what's going on in business and everything that we're doing, but it's like personally. So things like that means a lot to me because it's just me and him time, no kids, And again, he's feeding me. I mean, as long as I'm eating, I'm okay.
Jen, can I please tell you, I overstand, Jen. Okay, that's exactly who I am. That's exactly what I am. Now, how many kids do you guys have?
2, a boy and a girl. Yeah, 14-year-old boy and 11-year-old girl.
Okay, the both of you still look like babies. I don't understand. I don't understand. These are adopted children, right? These are adopted. Because you two still look like your babies. 14 and what? What? Oh my goodness. Family, if you have just joined us, you are listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. That's 96.1 FM and 900 AM. We are joined today by none other than Rob and Jen Morris of Cupcakeology, and we are talking about everything under the sun with regard to coupledom. They're sharing with us, how they keep their magic alive, how it began. They just shared about that little spark from the beginning. And we're going to take a break right now. But when we come back, we're going to find out how they manage to maintain that spark. Stay with us.
Word on Jobs.
A new year is here, and if you're searching for new career goals or a new job that fits your skill set, visit wordworks.com to view jobs and program opportunities, including Community Relations Coordinator for WHYY, Disability Services Director for NBME, and Policy Director for Bicycle Coalition of Greater Philadelphia. Visit wordworks at word.com and find the career opportunity that's right for you. Brought to you by Pico and Livelihood at Word Radio.
Imagine you on a deserted island all by yourself, or even being in a crowd of people yet still feeling alone. That's what being a victim of sexual assault can feel like. Victims of sexual assault are at an increased risk for developing depression, PTSD, substance abuse, eating disorders, and anxiety. Sexual assault can happen to anyone, and as any unwanted sexual contact such as unwanted touching, fondling, groping, or even rape. No always means no, so speak up and speak out. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Black Americans have died of COVID-19 at over 2 times the rate of white counterparts. This is due to systemic racism and healthcare disparities. Here are some tips for protecting yourself. Wear a mask covering your mouth and nose. Avoid crowds. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use alcohol-based sanitizers. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Practice social distancing and follow World Health Organization guidelines. Quarantine if you've been exposed to the virus. Self-isolate if you're experiencing symptoms. Seek medical attention if you experience difficulty breathing, a fever, cough, sudden confusion, or pressure in your chest. If you don't have health insurance or a healthcare provider, try contacting your state health department, community health clinics, or local hospitals for testing and treatment. Together, we can stay informed and empowered. This public service announcement is from the National Black Cultural Information Trust.
When I cross the finish line, it's not just me. I succeed because of others. When I was pregnant, I survived because of others. At 32 weeks, I was diagnosed with preeclampsia and had an emergency C-section. Because my doctor took quick action and my husband was there to help me, I'm alive. Too many women die of pregnancy-related complications, and most are preventable. If you or someone you know is pregnant or recently had a baby, learn the warning signs. It could help save her life. Hear her.
For the Indianapolis Colts. Becoming a running back was no easy task for me, but it's nothing compared to what my amazing mom faces every day. My mom was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy when I was 14 years old, yet she's always there for me, every step of the way, despite her own battles. And the Muscular Dystrophy Association is there for my mom. At their 150 care centers across the U.S., MDA is the leading organization in research and care for kids and adults with muscular dystrophy, ALS, and related neuromuscular diseases. Their research is helping find cures and save lives. Watching my mom go through her daily struggles and the care she receives from MDA has made me determined to help find a cure for neuromuscular disease. That is why I support MDA, and that's why I'm so grateful to others who do too. Join me and learn more at helpmda.org today.
Hi, I'm Tanya Hopkins, aka The Food Griot, the host of Savory and Sweet, a new show about food, history, and culture. Savory and Sweet is a flavorful exploration of food, marinated in the Black experience, seared with history and braised in culture. Each week, I'll fold in conversations that center food and drink at the intersection of business, health and well-being, entertainment, education, and innovation. while separating the facts from fiction on the sometimes surprising origins of what we eat and drink. So join me, the Food Griot, and special guests for Savory and Sweet, Food History and Culture every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. beginning January 2nd, 2022, exclusively on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Welcome back, family. You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. That's 96.1 FM and 900 AM. We are joined today by Rob and Jen Morris of Cupcakeology. If you missed the conversation thus far, we've been talking about their journey from that little spark at hello to where they are today, the owners of an empire. So before the break, I had asked how you maintain your spark. How do you maintain your spark? Because I just love the energy that you two, you exude love. So I'm seriously, I love it, love it, love it. How do you maintain that?
To be honest with you, it starts from the beginning. Getting all of the baggage out in the beginning, knowing who likes what buttons to push, what buttons not to push. The first 3 years, they're rough. They're memories, but they're rough. But once you get over that and you're on the same page and you have the same goals, it gets easier. Me and Jennifer are like we go at each other as far as competition, so
really?
That keeps us together a lot. I mean, I love to cook. She loves to bake. I love to bake too. So if I say, well, let's bake a red velvet cupcake, and she'll bake one and then I'll bake one, and whose is better? And we will actually we will duplicate what we made, and we will take it to people and get scores to see who's the best.
Are you serious? Okay, can I be added to that list? Can I be added to the list of?
So that helps a lot because we're always on the same page. We're always competitive. But what we do know is when we combine, we're unstoppable. So that's just like the ultimate force. If somebody ever comes at us or against us, it's like, what we gonna do, baby? We get into a huddle and we tear them to shreds, regardless of what it is. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Even with money, same situation. She'll bring home a check. Oh, I made $10,000 today. Then next week I'll be like, oh, really?
So I got to step up my game, right? I love that though.
Yeah, it's friendly competition. It's and like lifting each other up. He is honestly my bestest. I know that ain't a word, but bestest friend in the world. It's just a bond that naturally keeps the spark. But then we also just having the moments of, because it's COVID and things right now, and I'm kind of like COVID afraid. And so we don't do a lot of going out, because before, just to keep the spark, like I said, like he would come and take me to breakfast, or, just show up. Even when we still had the bakery, just show up. I remember one Valentine's Day, it was so crazy, but he removed me from the crazy, right? And we just went to Red Lobster. I mean, nothing fancy. It was around the corner. We went to Red Lobster. He got me pina colada, and that was things like that, girl. It's because he knows when I need him the most. And he always swoops in and he's always there. And it's like he can literally read my mind. You know how they say when you're together with someone for so long that they can finish your sentences, read your mind? Like, that is true. That is so true. So we have this spiritual bond, like this natural. I always say that God made him for me and me for him. And that is truly, like, before we even knew of existence, God was molding us for each other. You know, and that may sound corny and cliche.
No, that sounds real. That sounds real to me. I know that it's said that everybody has a love language. You know, would you say that for the two of you, those the 3 years of growing pains, would you say that was the two of you learning each other's love language?
Definitely. I think some people they never experience that, you know, to the full capacity of that, and they never really get to know each other before they start arguing. And
that part,
you know, that's very important. And hanging in there and just saying things like, "We're not going to bed until we get this situated." You know what I mean?
Right. I think that, and you're so right in what you just said. I think that I always say that, you know, as adults, we don't really communicate effectively, and we're not as patient with one another as we can be, and sometimes as we should be. You know, being a couple, I've always heard, you know, you shouldn't go to bed angry. You should at least come to a point of resolution, or you know, agree to disagree, whatever it is. You shouldn't take that anger with you to bed. Would you say that is true for you guys as well? That's something that you believe in?
Yes, you gotta want it. And going back to what he said, you know, you gotta, what did you say? I forgot that fast. But it made me think, though. I have COVID brain. I'm sorry. I'm a COVID.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
It's in and out. But I wanted to say, you have to want it. You have to want to you have to, or not want to make that person angry, or not want to hurt that person's feeling, or not, you know, and you have to want to work on the relationship and want it so bad that you do stick in there. That's what he said. Like, you gotta hang in there. You gotta want it. Like, people give up so easily anymore. I don't know if it's because there's just too many options, but I heard it wasn't enough options. So I don't know. You know?
Hello.
But and I feel like the communication skills and the patience and all that's not just in relationship, that comes across in business and any other relationship with your children, family, just with other people, friendships, relationships. Like, you have to really be a good communicator, and you have to want to resolve to move on, and not just like, okay, I'm just going to let this go. I am going to go to bed angry, and it's going to be over tomorrow, and I'm just going to keep going. And then something else happens, and you do the same thing, and it's just, everything is piling up with each other till somebody's going to blow up. Right? So we're all about attacking it, like he said, attacking it right away, doing the hard things, having the hard conversations, even if some things are said that is going to hurt our feelings right then and there. In the long run, it's going to make it better and to work out, because we got it all. We laid it all out on the line and we worked through it. So that's kind of how we attack everything, Carol, like doing the hard things and really getting to the root of the problems, because it compacts on each other, it layers.
It does. You're
going to have a huge explosion.
Yeah, she's honestly a lot better at that than me. I'm a Cancer, you know. I don't like hurting people's feelings, you know. I'll come up to her and she'll be like, "Babe, your breath stinks." And you know, if her stunk, I would be like, Hey, I'll be downstairs.
He don't say nothing.
She'll just come out and tell you. So, you know, I got tired of getting ragged on this whole relationship. So now I'll say, your breath stinks. You know?
No, well, listen, it's good to be honest with each other, but you said that is hilarious. But you know what? The one thing that I get from this conversation is that at the core of everything that you two do is love. Whatever it is, however we're walking into this, love is at the core of it. So our approach to every single thing, every single conversation, every step we make, and every move we take, love is at the core of it. I mean, coupled with faith, of course, because I'm getting that from the two of you as well. But so with regard to, well, let me ask you this: how long have you been married?
It'll be 18 years this year. In
Shut
October.
up.
It'll be 18. Dang, I said that out loud.
I'm processing that. You've been married for 18 years.
Yeah, so we just celebrated 17 years last October. Yeah.
Well, congrats to you. First, congratulations. Just a blanket congratulations. Family, if you have just joined us, you are listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. We are talking with Rob and Jen Morris of Cupcakeology. And I'm shocked to know that they've been married. They're knocking on 18 years on the door of 18 years of marriage, which just shocked me. So it made me, took me aback because they look like babies to me. Like, wait a minute, what? That can't be true. So let me ask you this with regard to resolution. You say you have teenage children. I don't know that life. How do you handle resolution being, business owners? And I can only imagine that your time during the course of a day is so slim. How do you manage like conflict resolution with your children?
It's a little more intel with us because we do homeschool.
Okay.
So, I mean, they're always at each other, and
hold on.
Yeah. Oh, I do have one question. I'm sorry to interject, but what made you decide to homeschool?
Our son had a problem with ADHD, or so they
say.
So we dug a little bit deeper, and we were dealing with this problem ever since he was in daycare.
Okay.
So he was about 2, 3, and he was, rowdy, and we had a talk with the superintendent, and we even had him in Montessori school. It costs a lot of money, but she was saying that he's disruptive, or he can't sit in circle time, or he'll just walk around. He'll do his own thing. So that was our son, and we just thought that was normal. So I said,
he's passionate. That's all.
When he gets in first grade, we'll see how he does in school, and we'll take it from there. Because we're just not going to say he's ADHD, daycare or whatever. So, he started going to school, first grade, second grade. We were kind of getting the same signals, to sum it up.
Okay.
So we had him see a psychologist, and he took this long test or whatever. Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
So he took the test, and the psychologist said, well, there's, 2 things I need to tell you about your son. One is that he's very smart, and second, that he passed everything with flying colors, but he did it under the table. So we're like, what?
He took the
like, wait a minute.
Exam under the doctor's table.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to sit in the chair. He didn't want to do it table.
Can I please tell you, because I want to hear the remainder of the story, but that does not surprise me as a creative.
Yes.
Because as a creative, I'm always on my own path. Yeah. You may say, okay, Carol, I need you to do this. But okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do exactly what you need me to do or are asking of me. But I need to do it as it applies to the way I do things. Yes. And that's not always the way that everybody else does things. So as a creative, I so understand that. Because I'm always feeling like the outsider. I always feel like I'm the outsider because I like to do. I'm one of these kids that just doesn't belong. I am that kid. I am she.
And that's why you are doing your own thing.
That's why.
Because you can't fit nobody else's body.
I can't. Heavens to Murgatroyd. I can't. Family, if you have just joined us, welcome. You are listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. I just interrupted Rob Morris as he was beginning his story and answering my question. But I would like to hear the remainder of it, but we're going to take a break really quickly. And when we come back, we'll hear the rest of the story. So stay with us.
What's up, y'all? It's Janae Latrice.
And Kayla J. Be sure to tune in Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. for
Crosswords, sharing conversations across generations, right here on WURD.
Progressive Black Talk Media.
We'll see you there.
I remember this one moment. I ran to kind of the water edge, and my mom said something along the lines of like, now it's your turn. Take that first step. When I became a mom myself, I feel like my whole world changed. There's some light within her that makes me continue to do the climate science work that I do. You don't have to be a climate scientist to want to protect the earth. As moms, we care about our children and the environment they grow up in. And for Mia, I want you to know that I worked really hard to be a part of the change and to make it a better place for you.
Email from school about the incident today.
Scary.
Tell me about it. Did you have any idea that was going on?
None. I mean, you saw Derek at the game last night too. Did you have a clue?
No, but you know, teachers like me, parents, we don't always know as much as you guys do. Kids hear first about what's going on with other kids.
Half the time, it's rumors.
It can be hard to tell sometimes, but if you're ever concerned about a friend who's having trouble with alcohol, prescription drugs, bullying, violence, anything, you need to tell an adult. Mom or me, a teacher, coach, school counselor, someone you know and trust.
Dad, no kid is gonna tell an adult about that kind of stuff.
I get it, but if we don't know, we can't help. Speaking up about a problem, that's what helping a friend is all about.
You know, a lot of people say, when you're going somewhere, you don't want to look back. But I beg to differ. For her to see her father celebrate his graduation, it's the best feeling in the world. I can't lie and say it was easy. But sometimes you just have to stop everything and take it in. I looked at everything in a different light. I realized it started with me going back and getting my high school diploma.
We're often influenced by what we see or hear on social media. Beware of disinformation campaigns targeting Black communities by using cultural issues to incite divisions, spread false information, and negatively influence public opinions. We're in this together, and together we can stay informed and empowered. Learn more at nbcit.org. This public service announcement is from the National Black Cultural Information Trust.
Imagine you on a deserted island all by yourself, or even being in a crowd of people yet still feeling alone. That's what being a victim of sexual assault can feel like. Victims of sexual assault are at an increased risk for developing depression, PTSD, substance abuse, eating disorders, and anxiety. Sexual assault can happen to anyone and is any unwanted sexual contact such as unwanted touching, fondling, groping, or even rape. No always means no, so speak up and speak out. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
I'll be here to hear what's on your mind. Take this time to talk and get it right. You know I'll be there all your life. When you need me, I'll be by your side. By your side. And every day is a different day. Everything is in everything. Even when you think things can never ever be the same. Don't be scared of the world, I'll be here to stay. By your side. Even when your heart ain't listening, or your mind takes you a different way, towards a different path. All you gotta do is sit and ask. When you need me, I'll be by your side.
When the adults in a child's life talk early and often about the dangers of underage drinking, the message gets stronger every time.
I'll be by your side.
Talk. They hear you.
Hey, still shopping for the new year? Or did you receive a gift card for the holidays? Either way, Word Radio's got you covered. Visit wordradio.com and shop at the Word Virtual Marketplace. You can support local, small, Black-owned businesses through the marketplace and shop today. Visit wordradio.com/marketplace or wordworks.com/marketplace.
Well, hello there, family. You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. Hey there to our family members joining us on our socials. We haven't forgotten about you. We know it's in the midnight hour, and we are grateful that you're joining us too. We've been talking with none other than Rob and Jen Morris of Cupcakeology. And before the break, I had asked about conflict resolution with their children. I actually steered off the path because I was asking about one of their children with whom they were explaining is very passionate, and I can relate. So please do continue your response to the question.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So we left off at the ADHD and everything, and he passed the test, but he passed it under the table, and the doctor let us know that in order for him to be in an environment where he needs to sit down and do as others do, so that a teacher could teach, that he would be needing some type of medication in order to slow him down a little bit. Other than that, it wasn't going to work out with him being in those settings. So this was probably the most pivotal point in our lives. And it was hard. It was rough. A lot of crying, a lot of anger, a lot of why us. And this is good. I'm glad that people can hear this, because I know there's a lot of people out there going through the same things. ADHD is a huge topic nowadays.
Mental health, period.
Yeah, mental health, period. But the way we tackled it was, which I believe was wrong in the beginning, but we grabbed hold of it. We actually medicated our son.
Okay.
It was for a short time, but the effects and the weight loss and the spaciness and him not being here, it was really rough. It was times where we had to pick him up from school because he just was a zombie. He would come home and be angry at his sister. They would fuss, and
he's angry at everybody.
Yeah, it was really really bad times. But what we did was, at that point, we actually knew that was when we were going to have to take control of our lives, period, including Cupcakeology and everything else. We needed to become self-sufficient, bosses. We needed to up our game, so what we did was, I worked my full-time job double time now, and I gave my wife the ability she needed and all the time she needed to get herself together. And that's when we did the homeschooling. And I told her, babe, do whatever you got to do. I'll do what I need to do. Bills, everything will be fine. And, that's what we did. I worked double hard. She stayed home, took care of the kids. I came home, took care of the kids, went right back to work, and it was
wow.
It was crazy.
Puzzle piece that it was like,
it was weird.
I always said at that time we were like single parents, but not because he would have do the schooling at certain hours while I'm at work or whatever with the bakery, or just with the employees and things like that, and then I come home and then he's gone, because it was just it was a system.
And the systems came about because we said we're not doing medication.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
Stop it.
So
Yeah.
I love the trust between the two of you, trusting each other in handling the responsibility that you both accepted. At what age was your son when you made this decision to homeschool?
He was in 4th grade. So I guess, was he 14 now? So I think he was about 10.
Wow.
Yeah, 10.
Wow.
10, 9 or 10.
I commend you both so much. I mean, I already admired you both as individuals and as a couple with the little bit of knowledge I had about your story and your history with the business, but navigating, and I'll say challenges. Just challenges, just navigating additional challenges. Yeah, it's life. Life, it's just life. But like you said, like the both of you said earlier, it's about wanting to be there. It's about, accepting your responsibility. It's about saying to each other, okay, I'm here for the long haul.
Yeah.
And both of you accepting that from one another and just saying, okay, so what are we gonna do? How are we gonna do this?
Yeah.
I love that. I just don't see a lot of that. And that's just me. So family, please don't be upset with me if you do. I don't see a lot of it. So I think it's a beautiful thing. And I know your children are the better for it. I can only imagine how much yeah.
You're always wondering if you're doing the right thing. I mean, that's what any parent.
They've seen we can say that.
You say, but you know what? I agree though. I mean, everybody. I think on a daily basis, throughout the day, we're all wondering if we're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And that's real. That's honest, and that's human. Yeah. That's human. That's what that is. So with I guess that makes your situation a little different, or your family dynamic a little different, with regard to conflict resolution. So you said that they were going at each other. The siblings were going at each other at one point, but that was because of the challenge you guys were facing at that time. So how do they get along now as siblings?
I think they're, I don't like this. I hate the word normal, but I guess they're siblings, right? So for the most part, our daughter, is very protective over her older brother because, she's just seen as them growing up, and people, sit down, be quiet, stop that, and she always took that protective role over him.
I love that.
I would be one time when they were in school, I would go and pick them up, and one time I rolled up, and this little girl, she was like in kindergarten. She just got off the kindergarten bus, and he had to wait for her, and I see her going like this to some older boy, and I said, "What the heck is she doing?" So I get out the car, and I say, "Jane, what's going on?" And he's just standing there, and she's like, "Nobody's going to say that to my brother. Nobody's going to say that." I said, "I love it." Butt in the car because he's like 2 feet higher than you. You lucky he didn't knock you on your behind.
Listen, I love it. Okay, ride or die. She said he is mine.
She is. Right?
Listen,
but she don't take no stuff from him either, though. At home, and he's a big guy. Like, he's taller than both of us. He's bigger. Like, he's a big 14-year-old. And
wow.
People don't even think people have always treated him, because we're both tall, and people have always treated him like he should act older than what he is, because he looked older because he was tall, and that kind of hurt us too, because it's like, no, he's just 10, he's just 11, like he's not 5 years older like he looks.
Here we are.
So that's the thing right there. And but at home, no, they fuss, they fight, things like
they're
that.
Teenagers. They're siblings. They're siblings. But I love
they
that.
do what they do.
Family, if you have just joined us, you are listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, 96.1 FM and 900 AM. You've just for those of you who've been hanging out with us, you've been with us for the first half of our show this evening. We're talking with Rob and Jen Morris of Cupcakeology. Listen, family, I am telling you to stay with us, okay? Stay with us for the next hour because we're going to get into how they got started with Cupcakeology and building their empire. All right? Stay with us because we are going to be back.